Welcome back to the Classic Life Podcast, World of Warcraft's obviously #1 podcast. If anyone else is watching right now or listening and they have their own podcast named, I don't know, Blazin' Bob, don't worry, you're a very close second. But this is the world's best podcast ever, and we're holding it down. Crix will be back here in about a month. But today we have some very special guests, and one of the most exciting things I've ever seen happen, probably the biggest community event ever outside of something Asmongold does, happening this weekend, or starting really this weekend with the biggest event. But today on the show, we have only Black Smoke coming in hot. We got our boy Kargoz coming in hot, and we got our boy Ahmpy. So guys, introduce yourselves. Tell me how you are. We'll start with you, Only.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, only Black Smoke here. Hardcore WoW enjoyer. One of those genuine priest enjoyers where you just wonder why I would do such a thing to myself. But yeah, dude, excited to be here. Having a great time. It's my birthday today. Just
Happy fucking birthday.
Super excited to get to work with you guys tomorrow, especially. It's been a long time coming to get to put together this tournament, so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions later for your involvement and how hectic this has all been. But
I'm literally neck deep in spreadsheets as we speak.
I can only and real work and birthday. Oh my god. Ahmpy, introduce yourself. How you doing, brother? How's life? And how much is your preparation going into this event?
Quite a lot of prep. I'm just a gamer. That's my identity. I've played WoW for like 15 years, done everything. Big hardcore fanatic. I kind of helmed the Road to Rag event as the raid leader, main tank. Outside of that, played WoW all the way since Classic released.
Until recently stopping Wrath, huh?
Yeah, I quit Wrath. We did server first. We got Death's Demise, but I just lost the spark, man. I lost the Wrath spark. I'd rather play Classic, as crazy as that sounds. I want to go back.
I think there's a huge rift in the community. There's a lot of people that just really want Classic back, and a lot of people are really loving Wrath. And like some people just had this like insane expectation for Wrath, I feel like, and it might not have met that, or it might just be different than what they expected. And I think that that's an interesting thing. And also, like, for you, right, like speedrunning is just now about to start in Old War, so this has been like 2 months almost of just gearing our characters, and we had knacks for multiple months before that.
Yeah, it was draining. It's like mentally taxing raiding so long. It's just doing so many splits for very, I don't know, little interest.
Yeah,
it's very, very unmotivated to do all the stuff required.
I totally feel it, man. I totally get it. Kargoz, welcome back to the show. You know, this show, we literally founded the show, me and Crix. We met on one of your podcasts that you brought us both onto back in the day before TVC, dude. How the fuck are you doing, brother?
Yo, you cut out for a second for me. Did you just ask how I'm doing?
Yeah. How are you doing? Sorry, I'm using a foot pedal right now.
All good, man. You're in the old foot pedal gang now. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good. I obviously have a lot of passion for vanilla. I'm a bit of a vanilla one trick. Love hardcore. Love the people. It's about the people, and I sure do love them. We've built something really cool here, and I reflect back on Classic, even pre-2019, and the vibes you guys were talking about, apartment and house vibes, but what the vibes were back then going into Classic, and it was pretty like kind of cutthroat. People were out to kind of like prove themselves and be giga hyper competitive, and I get that. I was right there in the same boat, man. I mean, it was just a different vibe back then, but this time around feels a bit different. I mean, there's still that spark to try to innovate and push and limit test and do all that, but it feels a bit more wholesome now. The community is a bit more collaborative, which I'm really just makes you want to participate. And doing stuff like this league, I'd like to think that we're continuing to try to set the goalpost higher and higher, and we haven't fully explored the rabbit hole yet. So glad to be here with you guys and excited to talk about all this.
Hell yeah. And I didn't even introduce the league fully yet today. And Kargoz, do you want to talk about it briefly? I know everyone's had a lot of involvement in it, but do you want to just tell people what the league is and what's going on?
Yes, absolutely. So the league is called Hardcore All Stars. I've always dreamed of doing some sort of league thing with WoW, and I think a lot of people in the past have dreamed about doing something with teams or esports or whatever. But this is our first stab at it, and the league is 11 weeks long, and there's 2 arms of it. So there's the dungeon draft arm, which at least in my mind, I think Graves was really at the tip of the spear there. He pioneered this new format of doing like a kickball style impromptu draft.
Yeah.
So it's a 1-day event. These are shorter form tournaments. You know, it's fresh in a bottle. It's canned fresh. Everybody rolls together at said time. There's a naming convention. So the last one we did for Dead Mines, the naming convention was DMX. So you'd have to name yourself like Kargoz DMX or Sarthe DMX, and you level for a certain amount of time. There's a minimum level and a maximum level, and everyone shows up and you draft like it's a kickball. Like it's kickball in middle school or dodgeball, you know. And you make a team and you compete, and whoever clears the dungeon the fastest wins the cash prize. And these dungeon drafts are designed so that you're severely under leveled. So Van Cleef was almost a skull level mob for the people doing Dead Mines last time.
Yeah, some people entered in at level 14?
Yeah, even less, man. Or it might have been 14 minimum. Yeah, you might be right. But so that's one side of it, the dungeon drafts, and then the other side of it is the hardcore world tour. So only Black Smoke was kind of the tip of the spear with that one, and he initially approached me like a few months ago with the idea for something like this, where it's more constructed. So it's more, if you ever played card games or something, like I like to think of the dungeon drafts as like a draft, like you're drafting with your friends, and this is more like you're playing constructed, or there's probably a Hearthstone analogy in there too. So instead of impromptu drafts, you are registering with a team of 5 or 6. You are finding the sweatiest homies that you just love to be around. You love their company. You're all vibing together, and you register as a team with a team name and a logo, and you fight it out against other teams across 5 dungeon circuits. Oh, there's 4, and there's a grand finale. So there's a lot there, on the point side and how it's all structured. But that's what it is in essence. So circuit 1 is tomorrow. The max level is 22.5, and we have 36 teams signed up of 5 or 6. They're all required to stream, so it's kind of got to be so exciting seeing the pobs of every single person playing. And they're going to try to complete 4 dungeons, Dead Mines, WC, SFK, BFD, as fast as possible. Pathing counts, everything counts. And that's just the first of many weeks of fun and exciting events to come. There's a $5,000 prize pool, which pretty decent. And
yeah, it's very decent.
Hell yeah, that's it in a nutshell, though. I might have left some stuff out, but
I think of the hardcore world tour. These events, I honestly think of it like MDI. It's totally MDI style. The teams already know exactly who they're playing with, right? Everybody knows like what classes they're playing, what professions are all panned out. So they know how to kind of plan for every dungeon, and then they know what dungeons they're dealing with. So they know pretty much like if they're planning any routing, what like polls they're going to go for. It's all going to get like kind of crazy. And then if anybody gets a little too excited and pulls a little too much, one person dies. Like you have to move so much slower throughout the rest of the dungeon. And then also that person needs to completely restart their hardcore character. Or if you wipe, which would be crazy if we see any wipes this weekend, is like,
oh yeah, we will.
Kind of like world buffs back in the day. It's like, it's over. You're literally done if you wipe.
One thing I was going to say before I forget too, which I'm hoping your community likes maybe more than they would think, is how with the world first races in retail and with Wrath, all the regions start at different times for some unknown reason. Like EU always starts behind NA for some unknown reason, and then like China starts at another time as well, and then not everybody's streaming. Like Beef Bar didn't stream this last Ulduar world first race, right? And they like ended up winning or something.
Yep.
This is going to kind of be what you guys always wanted to a certain extent, just on a much smaller scale. Everyone's starting the exact same time, and literally everybody is streaming, and the stakes are the same for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's something that is very like MDI or like Blizz like with whenever Blizzard has put on a tournament. They've only done one speedrun tournament ever in Classic, and it really was. Everyone needs to go at the exact same time, and that's very important, I think, for watching one of these events, because and streaming it. Like, it sucks when guilds don't stream speedruns. It sucks because you like hear that they're hiding the log, and it's like, oh, they got the new world record, but they're not going to release their logs or VODs until maybe the end of the phase to see if anyone beats them. It's a lot less hype, but here we're going to see every single team and what every team is doing. If anything goes wrong for any team, if anyone's doing crazy pulls, we have a view of all of it. Ahmpy, I was curious with you. You are participating and you've done quite a bit of prep. Can you give us a little insight into like how hard and how min-maxy people are going for this?
Well, I could say that I've been offline for the past like 5-6 days, just farming rested XP, and I have 80 days played, or 80 hours played.
It's like 80 days.
Yeah.
You started leveling a week ago.
Yeah, so it's like 80 hours in the 1 week to get everything ready, and now I'm offline farming rested. People are going insanely hard. I've heard of people going up to 6 days played already, getting like mithril frag grenades and shit at level 20. It's crazy prep.
Yeah, the first bout, right? The first event tomorrow, you can only be level 22 and a half. You have to be exactly there. You can't be any further or else you're kind of disqualified. So how are people really trying to optimize then at this max level? Like, what are they doing and spending those 6 days worth of playtime in game to try to make it so that they can have like a more of an advantage in the actual race?
Well, there's a couple different ways. I think one of the main ways would be gear. Like, you know, you could fish for gear, right? So for me, I have 300 watertight trunks looted, which is about 40 hours of fishing, and you know, you get greens randomly from those boxes. Professions are another huge way. I've been like farming Fade Leaf in Arathi Highlands at level 22, like dodging red mobs,
On a
resheeping until
hardcore
things.
character.
Yep, on a hardcore character. And this is time consuming. Like, you spend 20-30 minutes maybe for one Fade Leaf, and it's just that's what the time goes. I can imagine people with engineering like farming one mithril node and just waiting for respawn. Like, it's pretty sweaty.
It's weirdly sweatier than even end game stuff, man, because
It is.
you're doing so much, you're putting the same amount of time for so little, dude. You're fishing for like sub 1 gold an hour just for a shot at like one more agi or something. Like, yeah, I'm getting iron nodes, but I'm fighting. I'm having my pet tank like skull level mob so I can get one tap of a node and then I hearth out type shit. Like, you're in a really weird spot, man. Everything is so dangerous and so high level. And the crazy thing is too, is it feels sweatier almost because you have a whole team that's counting on you. You know, if you die, it's not even just on you, man. You're letting everybody down.
Yeah, so if you're grabbing this iron node and something else walks into the pat and you die, your team's kind of screwed. You have to make it back up to the level before the actual tournament.
There's a lot of moving pieces though, man, that you don't really expect. On a surface level, it might seem like this would be pretty chill to do, you know, low level dungeons, but you have to get all the flight paths from around the world where you need. You have to set your hearth in the correct location. You have to get the pre-quests done because you can turn in dungeon quests. So you have to find a way to solo do these dungeon quests so that day of you can just turn them in for XP. You need to have all the consumed scrolls, buffs, all ready to go, inventory managed with enough you know, water and all that. There's more moving pieces than you might think.
You can't trade even things like crafted water and anything like that too, right?
That's correct.
Nothing. You can't trade anything.
Anything the entire time until level 60, and then only with your group.
Yeah, even exploration XP is a big thing too, man. Like, people are terrified of exploring things. You are fighting the XP boss. Like, the 22.5 is the max level. If we had to do this all over again, bro, like, people would have started prepping at like 15.
Yep, that's what I did. I started prepping at 16. I had every single quest mapped out. I had grinds included, like wool cloth and everything. And that's another part that just, it takes so long. Like, I was leveling, I think, for 4 days because I was just doing so much like leveling herbalism and exploring all these zones. And now I'm stuck like trying to like skirt the edge of like Stranglethorn Vale Explore XP, like fishing random like level 45 trunks like in front. There's so many sketchy strategies right now that people are using for like prep for future circuits too. Like
Yeah,
you could
'cause
already start
having, like,
fishing for the next circuit.
if you have like those iron nodes or any higher level like mining nodes that you could start using to level up your professions earlier for the next circuit, is it worth it going for those in with the fear of dying?
Yeah, absolutely. The rabbit hole goes deep, man, but it's been a lot of fun because, I mean, a lot of us are incredibly proud of the gear that we've got together, and we feel like an emotional connection to our characters, even at this low power level. Like just weird greens you'd never even heard of before. You get so excited about creating an artificial meta at some arbitrary level in WoW is just giga fun. If you remember back to the beta for Classic, like people love that shit.
Yeah.
Remember, like level 40.
You would
level
twink
40
out
stuff.
when you got stuck at like the level caps. You would always twink out and try to get as buffed up at that level as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And I think from the viewership perspective, I'm hoping that it's going to be a combination of everything that you love in both classic and also in hardcore. I mean, people are looking for, stakes. If people die, they want to see that tragedy. They want to witness it. And we are deep. Like you're watching characters with 4 or 5 days played dying, tomorrow. That's a huge investment of time. So,
Yeah, I mean that's
that's
the investment of time it would take to get like high 40s, almost 50. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think it's kind of creating a microcosm of Endgame, just at level 22.
Each one of these level caps is its own end game, right? Like literally you have a full different end game plan. And for each one of these level caps, especially with the hard, you have to stop at like 42.5 and like it won't just cut off for you. So like Ahmpy saying, like planned out from level 15 on, then every time you get towards that level cap, you have to be like, okay, I need to do exactly these quests and not die, but have like the dungeon pre-quests for all of the dungeons so that you could get in there and get like the blue weapon that you need to get out of it and stuff.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember when I was originally thinking about this idea, I even pitched it as a concept for Wrath, because you would have XP lock. But I think that playing it on Classic, I mean, Classic is just goated. But
Yeah.
you really do end up kind of having these players making really big choices. Like, do I, farm mobs for extra wool cloth, silk clock, so I can get my engineering even higher? Or am I going to go after this one like really big quest line with a lot of XP involved, but I'm going to get blue boots out of it?
It's like so worth. There's quest lines that are like terrifying, like Whirlwind Axe.
Yep.
You're kind of by yourself, right? Like these are like a terrifying quest line. You usually do it really high. Getting Whirlwind Axe on a hardcore warrior is so ridiculously strong, but so sketchy, and you have to do it at such a higher level. Now it's like min-maxing to see like, can I get it? What's
The weird thing is, though, what the cool thing about vanilla is, like, oftentimes in vanilla, if there's a will, there's a way. Like, you can almost like break the game with just being clever. Like, there are weird
like
things you might think,
pathing and shit.
there's no shot a warrior could get a whirlwind axe at a low level. There are ways, bro. This shit like fishing skill actually gives you weapon skill in this game. So you can hit shit way higher level, with fishing poles, or you can, kite stuff to guards and do the perfect amount of XP on it, or you can just pathing abuse something around like a fucking mud hut or something. Like,
I remember Tommy
if there's
made
a will,
video
there's a
about
way.
soloing it. Yeah, you can like with the Whirlwind Axe in particular, like there's some way you can jump in the water and it makes the mob like path all the way around.
Yep.
That's like one of the very interesting things about vanilla. There's a lot of things that like we know everything about, but there's things that like could potentially be unsolved so far that you should be able to kind of like take to your advantage to like fucking min-max this so hard.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Only how did you, so when you came, you kind of had the inception of this idea for this event. How did it kind of come to your mind? Were you thinking with this, was it at the same time that Graves was talking about the dungeon drafts, or were you just
No,
like,
it was I had been thinking about this for over a year. And I finally got it on paper in like November of last year.
Yeah.
But it all started when I did a noob core run with with Jamin and Co. And for people who don't understand what noobcore means, it's basically where you go in. There's a weird thing in like classic era where you can enter dungeons up until BRD with up to 10 people. So you go into a dungeon with 10 people, but at minimum level of entry. So like you're going into dead mines at level 10. And it basically turns, every dungeon into a raid.
Yeah.
Pretty much every mob is skill level. But I did a noobcore dungeon or 2 of them and had a ton of fun. And I really enjoyed kind of the idea of trying to like theory craft and twink out your character. And I said like, oh man, like I would love to do this. I would love to like get a bunch of teams involved in this kind of like twinking for dungeons along the way. How could I incentivize that? And I mean, I like thought about just making like a kind of game mode that could, be played in tandem with hardcore. And eventually I got it in my head, like, wait, it would be kind of fun to make it a little bit of a competition, to see, who could speed run more, who could, make it through, particularly like with no deaths. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. But yeah, last November, put it on paper, sent out the rules to like 30 different people. And then like the day that Kargoz and Grays were like kind of recapping how successful the first race to RFC was, I just messaged Kargoz like, hey man, like here's this rule set I've been working on for a couple months. Like I'm wondering if you could take a look. I'm really interested in putting on this tournament. And he just brings me into a chat. He's like, okay, so I think we've got something here, guys.
I think adding the speedrun aspect to it, like also like the race to RFC and stuff, adding the speedrun aspect to these events makes it so much more like there's so much higher stakes. You have to go as fast as possible, and other guilds or other groups are planning out their routes and strategizing and min-maxing so hard that if you want to win or compete at any level in the Hardcore All-Stars tournament, you have to be extremely try-hard. It makes it fully like MDI. Like you need to be ready, and if you're just going in willy-nilly, which there's probably are groups that are going to go in and just kind of like, we're just going to wing it. The top groups are going to blow through this.
And the cool thing is, though, Sarthe, 36 teams, if you try to conceptualize it, that is a lot of teams. And there's some really good teams, too, man. There's some very, very strong teams. There's retail guys. There's people who are playing Wrath primarily. There's classic guys. There's speedrunners. There's PvPers who are like rank 1 type Andes. Like, no one knows how this cookie is about to crumble, but the stakes are as high as they can possibly be. Not only is it one life, it's speed run one life. It doesn't really get more degen than that. Like we're like really teetering on madness here. Like some of the shit we've been doing over the last 2 weeks is like, it is pretty hilarious. Like just fishing for hours and hours on end. And that's been kind of the meme with Circuit 1. Like,
the fishing is one of the things I think is the funniest, because like everyone is doing it. I remember when we hopped in Discord the other day and Ahmpy was like out there and there was like 12 people literally fishing like the same spot in Stone Talon, and everybody just like literally everybody is doing it. Everybody's going hard.
Yep.
Does your team not have a logo?
Oh, we do. That might have been an older version of the deck.
Yeah. It must be a really old version.
Look at that. I can send WoW logo.
I can send you the newest one. It's still not done. We had like 9 teams sign up in the last 24 hours.
9 teams.
Let's
so I'm
go,
working through every single team card again to make sure they're all accurate, but I'll send you the updated one, just like the draft state, so we can go through them if you want.
Yeah. I mean, so if we look at like kind of the earlier class breakdowns and such, before those new teams just signed up, a lot of people are playing Hunter, a lot of people are playing Mage. Those are the most popular classes, and then it's Warrior and Druid kind of following them up. How do you think these classes really kind of like excel in hardcore? Is there any classes you think just aren't that great for hardcore?
They're all pretty good, bro. I think people just play what they're most comfortable on. It's a terrifying prospect to survive, to play the game for this long and never die while speedrunning and not letting your teammates down. It's the most like it can get under your skin. You just play what you know best, you know? At least that's been a philosophy for us. And my question to you, Sarthe, which you might get a little bit excited by, is who would you take on your 5-man team and what comp would you run if you had to do this? If you were forced into doing this and you had to win?
That's a fucking great question. Okay. I'm actually curious for everybody about this. So if you were forced to do a 5-man comp
With no class duplicates.
no class,
And who are you taking?
duplicates,
Right? Is it your Noda homies or who is it? Who's the most reliable people you can trust with? You just vibe at that level with. You trust they're not dying.
It's Noda or Progress homies if they're ready to go. There's honestly a lot of the Progress people would do this, right? And a lot of the Noda people, we would go hard for this. I'm gonna be honest, I would take people from probably the sweaty DJ. Like Ahmpy's literally coming from Rain with like the sweatiest stuff, you know, the sweatiest ideas. So the classes, the thing is you have to think about all of the world tours, right? You have to make it all the way to level 60 and get through all of that. So as your tank-ish situation, it's either warrior or druid, which having both of them is really useful because the druid can heal and keep DPSing, but at the same time so can a shaman. Oh, it's so hard. I would go horde.
Tough, right?
Yeah, I would go horde.
That's like going hard,
You bring a hunter because hunters, even if they're underleveled, can do by far the most damage when they're underleveled because of ranged attacks just hit things and everybody else is missing. So your casters can't do anything but wand if you're underleveled. But if you're leveled enough, mage in this first tournament might not be the most useful. But what it really excels at is the AoE damage. You get Blizzard for slow, there's CC, and there's Sheep. Mages are just like invaluable for those situations. So those are my two like main DPS. And I personally, I'm always a rogue shill. I think rogues until the final tournament would beat warrior in every way DPS wise, and they come with a lot of CC and utility. I honestly might then pick a rogue, a warrior, and a shaman.
So rogue, warrior, shaman, druid, mage.
Hunter mage. That would be me. All right. What would you do? What are you doing, Kari? What would you do if you had idea?
Yeah, we're similar, bro. We're doing a horde physical damage cleave, like you said. But for us, man, it all kind of worked out. But we're just playing the classes we're most comfortable on, where we feel like we're just gonna not die throughout all this playtime. The only person who's a little bit outside their comfort zone in our team is Tactics. Tactics is a rogue player as well, but he's on warrior.
Because you have Bobka.
Yeah, because
you're Bobka. Like, dude, Bobka's just like picking Bobka for rogue is so clean, because if shit hits the fan, he makes really, really clear, really fast call outs for everything.
You want to hear something crazy too? You did Road to Rag with Bobka, right? You did all that shit?
Yeah.
He hasn't died in hardcore in 3 years. He's never died.
Technically, that's a lie.
Oh wait,
he killed us.
You're right, actually, dude.
Dude, he fucking. Oh my god.
You're actually right, bro. I just remembered you trioed with him.
Yeah. Technically.
No way, really?
Yeah, he killed us. We were the only trio.
You might have the clip still, dude.
Dude, let me see if I could find it, dude. So Bobka, what we were doing, because Tommy and Tactics had died in the duo in Road to Rag, right? Race to World First. So we were the highest leveled characters on the entire realm when Road to Rag, when Season Mastery launched. We were the highest leveled characters on the whole realm. And then Bobka goes to do his level 10 quest as rogue. We split up to do our like class quest at level 10 to get your nice weapon, your blue weapon or green weapon, which is amazing, right? And Bobka, instead of just pickpocketing or whatever, he like goes out of stealth and aggroes the mob, which if you're playing a night elf, it's like this guy on a tree. And if you get an aggro, like if he finds you or sees you, he summons like more enemies and they all chase you down. And I thought he was joking. I literally thought he was joking when he did this.
I remember he was like, "I'm dead." He told you guys he was dead way in advance, right? And you guys were like, "No, dude, no."
Oh, I have it on the wrong PC. Let me pull it up. I literally have it. It's so funny. I can't believe he did this, dude. I cannot believe this.
I just found it as well, dude. I'll send it to you.
Opka, don't die, please.
I pulled.
So he has.
I am dead. I'm dead.
I'm letting him. I'm holding that one over his head.
He literally hits it, I think.
Don't die, please.
Oh no, he pulled aggro.
I am dead. I'm dead.
I thought he was joking. I thought he was joking.
Are you serious? Yes. I'm dead. I'm dead.
9 mobs on him.
You're trying,
No
right?
sprint.
I'm dead.
Dude.
Oh my god, he's actually dead. Health flat.
That's
run.
Josito
I
Jones
did.
in the back too, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
He instantly
Uh,
leaves the game. He leaves party and he exits
my
game and
God,
he was ready to
Polka.
quit. We were so annoyed.
That's great.
Oh my god. Dude, so Babika has died before, but to his merit, there's situations because he gets excited. You can't tame him. So like there's times when we would be like in like a cave or in Stranglethorn Vale, and he would just aggro 12 mobs, and we're three of us, right? And the lucky thing for us though is like I'm a PvEer, played a lot of PvP, but I'm a PvEer that can react to any situation. Hosey and Bobka are both multi-rank 1 gladiators, right? Like Hosey's played BlizzCon multiple times, so everything goes wrong. We just call out all CCs really quickly, and then we end up just killing everything. But like in Classic, that's a lot of enemy. We don't have a tank, like everyone takes a ton of damage. It's just it was really fun. So it's fun to play with Bobka. He's here, but he it's really like if shit goes wrong, he's a great person to have on your team.
Yeah, same as tactics, bro. They have good minds for it, and they've been kind of leading our team so far. At least it's been good.
Yeah, so I think you guys will be, and we're kind of leveled pretty well. So you'll be now. It's like how fast, how many things can you pull? What about?
It's funny that you say that because I was about to say our minds are kind of similar, Sarthe, with how we built it, like more or less. Ahmpy approached it an entirely different way with their side. I think you were about to just ask him too.
Yeah. I was curious, Ahmpy, how are you guys kind of going to tackle this?
Wait, our comp is exactly the same except we're Alliance, so no Shaman.
Oh, so
We run
Paladin?
Pally, of course, yeah. Pally, Mage, Hunter, Rogue, Warrior.
Okay,
With
so
the 6th is Priest.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like your sub can be like a priest, which is really clutch. Honestly, Paladin early adds a good amount of damage early on, and later adds kings and stuff.
Yeah,
but
a lot
is
of
it
utility later on.
is it worth it? I don't know, because I never really played. I haven't played Alliance in Classic in a long time. Like on the leveling front, how strong are Paladins in leveling dungeon groups?
I would say very strong. I think it's probably stronger than Shaman. Just
Really?
because, yeah, I don't think Shaman's particularly strong in like speedrun dungeons because of how much you have to move. So they don't have time to like set up totems all the time. You're not pulling back. You're not taking breaks. So that's kind of one of the downsides with Shaman.
You only need one totem, brother.
Right.
That's so true.
Okay, Kona.
Yeah. So you're bringing Shaman for like Wind Fury, but Pally brings so much more than utility. Than they bring Hodge. They bring freedom if you don't have a magic dispel. They bring 2 different dispels, poison and disease, and later on they get magic as well, but not early. Bop, salvation, and circuit too. It's just the list goes on and on and on.
Damn, I didn't even think about that. All right.
It's the classic Alliance versus Horde thing, though, where
Dude,
a Horde,
it
in
is.
theory, is more aggressive, right? And Alliance is more, soy boy. So it's like...
I don't know about that. All right,
Kargoz.
Kargoz, you're going to have to watch my VOD later, dude, to talk about Soy Boy Alliance players, man.
I can't wait to watch you
Pally
guys
is
go head to
literal
head.
Giga Chad.
No, you have like Wind Fury Totem, and then you have Blessing of wah wah.
Yeah, blessing. Wind Fury Totem, do more damage. Blessing of Salvation, do less threat.
Exactly.
Oh no, you're forgetting the biggest one, Blessing of Protection.
Yeah. That's to save you if you're gonna die because you
use
didn't
that
kill
shit.
mobs.
Imagine
fast
needing
enough.
You
Bop
use
when
that
you can
shit
just twist more
aggressively,
totems.
dude. You pull 30 mobs. I'm a mage. That's me. I can do 30 mobs. Bop me.
All right, that's not
Yeah.
wrong.
Meanwhile, Kargoz' team is benching their mage the entirety of the.
Wait, are you guys
Oh, yeah.
benching your mage early on?
Yeah, he's the backup. We're all just physical damage, just WQ
Yeah,
through the whole dungeon.
they are called Team No CC for a
That's-
reason because they intend to never use a character with
This
big CC.
There's some
It's
personality
less-
in this shit though too, because like, so they're going full alchemy, right? Their team, Sarthe, which
Yeah.
kind of in theory, they're like the slippery little like rat team, you know. And we're kind of like the
Diamond
Giga
Hot
Chad
is a
team.
rat.
Like we're like the Giga Chad team. We have bombs, explosives. We're kind of just zug our way through, like hit W key. You know what I mean? They're like the little rats in Vizpod and crawling up the walls and the pipes. You know what I mean? Coming out by the boss.
We got some tech, okay? I'm not even gonna reply to that. We got some tech. You're gonna see it.
Okay.
I'm hoping to see the crazy tech. I mean, I know that you have the tech to have even like the swim speed item that turns you into a fish, and then swim speed pots, but like that's just the start, right? If everyone has swim speed pots, then you also are going to go further, like invis through any of the trash that you don't have to kill, everything like that. But is it stronger than having sappers or grenades?
Battle chickens, bro.
You know, I'm
Cocks
not
out.
gonna.
Battle
gonna
chicken
expose
for
the-
everybody, dude.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like
I'm not
you
gonna
try to get
expose the
squawks.
secret here, but engineering falls off compared to alchemy. You guys will see very, very soon. You guys are gonna be like, oh, we messed up.
Wow.
Man, if you-
That
if you say
is
so.
that is a claim I'm super interested to see
Yeah.
how it plays out, because we've got over half of the players going engineering.
Oh yeah, I
We'll see, man.
have you said
And
this
and I
in-
mean, like the alchemy versus engie debate, like kind of consumes all aspects of hardcore too. I mean, except for people like me who just don't take professions.
Wait, did you
'cause
do you hardcore not with no professions?
Yeah, professions just waste your time, man. I never do professions. I didn't do professions in SOM. I haven't done professions since my first 60. But I'm an alchemy believer personally, if you are going to take them. But most people say like there's just nothing that beats engineering when you're on a hardcore run.
The
Dude.
thing about engineering, I think that is nice. Well, if you're in a group, a lot of things having a little bit of a split is nice. But like for this in particular, you're making a conscious choice that everyone's being the same thing because you want to have like, if there's skips or if you want to fap certain pulls, if you want to do certain things, right? Lip is a phenomenal, amazing. But I think you have to get that drop. So good luck. I remember we
Yeah.
got that on the way up in Season of Mastery hardcore for Road to Rag. But that on top of everything, but engineering, you have target dummies. Target dummies, grenades are an AoE CC. Like you have things like the chicken that gives
You have the
everybody haste buffs.
Gnomish cloaking device.
Cloaking, yeah, which is a
the-
vanish.
Yeah,
It's-
you have the teleports, bro. You can teleport Everlook or Gagaton.
I just want to bring this
depending on
up
what you
real
need.
fast. Teak, don't you have to be a gnomish engineer to make the chicken? So
Yeah.
you have to re-level engineering to get sappers.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
What you think of this?
Couldn't
We're out here fishing
I'm
for.
just saying. I'm just saying.
Bobka's got 9,000 casts. You think he's scared of going gnomish and goblin?
I'm just saying. You guys are in for a treat. You're just picking the wrong profession to do more.
All right, we'll see.
That's the engineering is like the boomer pick. You know, that's all. If
When
you're
you- when you- when-
surface level analysis here, what's the best profession? Instantly knee jerk engineering. That's what it is.
When you watch us with 4 cocks out, 4 battle squawks, 20% attack speed, absolutely blasting through everything. We'll see.
I love that. I feel like this is like Ahmpy is coming at it from an approach probably of someone who would do the most like high level throughout, like analysis throughout all of the runs, right? And where each of your professions is throughout all of the runs. And engineering though is the like, we're just blasting, we're just going for it, we're just sending
Yep.
it.
Oh yeah. No, and I'm honestly just so happy that there are rivalries like this already. taking
Yeah,
form.
dude.
Well, Sarthe, what do you think, bro? So you do speedruns, right? Which means you probably use InvisPot. You're an InvisPot user. What are the chances they're using double InvisPot cooldown every dungeon, all the dungeons, all the way up to 60, all 5 of them, do it perfectly every time without scuffing one of the
10
InvisPots?
10 minutes is your CD, right? But you can use the 2 different ones.
Yeah, the 2 different ones.
I want to say in this situation is the only if you fully trust your team is it worth it, I think, to go for something like that? Because there's always runs in like a larger run. It's like a guild or a raid, right? In speedrun raids, there was raids on pace for world record where somebody accidentally clicked a different potion instead of Invispot, and then like there it is, you're done, you're out, like you're screwed. You don't have a warlock, you can't summon. One person falls behind.
You can't run out of the
screwed.
dungeon too. Sorry,
Yep.
I don't know if you knew that. You can't reset the dungeon.
Yeah,
Like,
if it goes wrong, you're done. So
Yeah.
your faith in your team has to be essentially infallible if you're going to go for some really cheeky things. But if you pull it off, I think the time save can be huge, right? And I think the plan can be huge. Faps also are just phenomenal for certain dungeons. Also like curing your poisons and diseases and stuff. And also lips if you're like going to die, or AoE taunt lip. They have lip and bop. I think it's an interesting min-maxy choice that I think is really, really good. I think 90% of the teams have a better choice going engineering. It's a lot better for almost everybody. And if you're going in with a fully planned route, like say you've literally planned every single one of your pulls, I think Alchemy is where it takes ahead because of that. You also do get, there's a like consumes obviously in classic are a large thing, and we have to remember that usually you're able to just buy or trade for those, but now with the hardcore rules you can't trade for anything. So if you randomly find a mongoose in like a fucking chest one day before a dungeon, you're like, this is the luckiest thing we could have done, let me use this to have the most uptime. But they kind of have that option of utilizing multiple consumables.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. One of the big trade-offs I've always like described between alchemy and engineering is that, you know, you're either getting some static effects and more options for your potion cooldown, you know, whether it's stats or kind of protection shields in a lot of the resistance elixirs, or you're getting additional cooldowns to use, but you're foregoing a lot of those passive effects. Like, yeah, sure, you can get, you know, some goggles for 8 stam, 7 spirit. But that's going to be about it that you're getting. And unless you're tanking or expecting to take a lot of damage, like that's not going to do you much good. So it really is like, how well can you make use of that grenade cooldown, that dummy cooldown? If you're Alliance, or, you know, if you're able to get it as a horde in Novergen when you go, that recombobulator cooldown. You know, it's going to be how good you can be at those uptime question marks that can really set aside engineering from alchemy.
Yes.
But you're totally right, Sarthe. Like when it comes to just like having options on the table, yeah, alchemy definitely has a lot more potential tools to be looking at. But again, you're limited to just that one potion cooldown for all of them.
Yeah, and if something goes wrong, it's easier, I think, in a lot of situations for engineering to be the savior than for like if your lip ends, you're down now, right? Engineering, it can like give you a lot of space. The good thing is I think the group's going with alchemy, and they know that like lip, if people don't know, like limited invulnerability potion, it reduces all physical damage, or like makes you immune to physical damage. So you can do like jumps, or you can just not get hit for like physical damage. You're still taking magic damage, but it de-aggroes all of the mobs on you and they go towards someone else. So like I would anticipate if things go wrong, a really clean team is gonna be like rotating lips so that like whoever has aggro builds space, and they would actually make a gap so that when the CD of the 6 seconds ends, then there's time for everything to get kind of towards that person, and they might have like gotten a little mana back to use a rank 1 Frost Nova or something. So I think that the outplay potential is very, very key towards like what the team is, the communication level of the team, and how honed in they are, which Bobka is saying in chat right now is like PTR is better than professions or gear. Practice is better than anything in the game. 100% for speedrunning. 100%.
100%, bro. The thing with alchemy though too is you can actually get a lot of that stuff. Like you can camp vendors for the health and mana potions. There's actually even stuff like mongoose, which is one of the biggest draws for alchemy. There's actually quests in the game that give you a couple mongoose, and you know there's only X amount of hours you have to be doing said circuit. So it's like you can get a lot of the value of alchemy through through either quests or vendors and stuff like that. And you can get some of the value of alchemy, like the invis. You obviously can use the cloaking device. I mean, it'll be an interesting battle to see how they they stack up. But I'd like to make an announcement. I just wanted to announce and tell Ahmpy right now that I just fished up a 10 agility 2-ended axe. So GG, brother.
Oh,
Circuit 1 is, better for engineering, so you guys should win this one.
We're just gonna
you
just
can
wrap
win.
it up right now. 10 agility on an axe. It's over.
You're on the hunter, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
10 agility 2-ended axe.
That's gonna be a big one. The damage is gonna be huge too.
It's brutal war
so-
axe of agility.
So, Ahmpy, I'm curious to hear why you think, as somebody who's like basically whole team is going Alchemy, why do you think Engineering wins in Circuit 1?
Oh, for
So
sure.
I know you.
For
I know you.
sure, engineering wins circuit 1. Yeah. What?
Engineering wins Circuit 1 because it's super front loaded, so they can get like heavy dynamite at level 20. But a lot of potions are restricted by level. And as soon as we get access to our full kit, you guys are out of luck. Win while you can.
The drama.
Win while
The
you can. You heard it here first.
The funny thing is, some random team that you guys don't know everybody on is going to come in out of nowhere with fucking tailoring and swamp everything. And you're going to be like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, there's one team with 2 tailors.
That's crazy. For what? I don't know. I mean, I guess gear.
Shadow
I
Weave set
guess?
probably. Yeah, Shadow Weave is pretty good.
Spider Silk boots. Easy peasy. Wrap it up.
Dude, but think
Yeah,
about
true.
this. Rocket bootin'. Hello. Movement speed is unironically one of the most important things also in a speed run, right? Like movement speed and the big thing for Kargoz's group is they're always pressing W, which is like obviously the GOAT of classic, is like always moving forward, right? You're not CCing or slowing things down. You're always moving forward. Now, Ahmpy's group is like, we've got the mage, so we can pull really big and plan around really big pulls because we have actual AoE. Whereas if you're a
The
physical
unholy
comp,
DK version of
yeah, exactly,
Classic
right?
Weapon.
Yeah. Unholy DKs were the perfect mix of like classic warriors and an AoE caster god. So you guys actually have AoE, which is like something that is very limited in classic, but you have to utilize it enough so that like your one big pull is more of a time save than them always pulling through and moving through the dungeon. And if that's,
Look, man, Kargoz is using a wolf. I don't need to say anything else. He's not doing damage.
Giga Chad Wolf, bro. So
What are you doing? Rank 1 Furious Howl plus 9 damage?
Dude, it's Giga, dude. I'm buffing the boys.
Speaking of movement speed, though, Sarthe, I have not heard of a single Alliance player or any alchemist to have found a swiftness pot recipe yet.
Oh, we got some
Really?
on our team.
You say
wait,
some?
you get a you
Yeah.
got some
multiple?
recipes or
Yeah, we got 3.
Oh my!
how do you
God.
can you get it from fishing? Was it just luck?
Yeah, you just get lucky, man. I've been grinding gray mobs for 10 days, so.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ!
I forgot that you can just grind mobs that literally don't give XP.
You know what I dream of though? Season 2, like hopefully season 1 is such a huge hit because I wish we could see a season 2 where it's like Sarthe and Team Noda. You have the apes making a comeback. Imagine Mytaz and Monkey News and some of the fucking goated apes guys playing on a team together. They somehow come back. You have like some of the top guilds on retail and the Mythic Plus guys. Imagine Gingy and all those people. If it was like 100k prize pool, would they play? Probably.
Dude,
bro.
now
Probably,
would. If now had
100%.
the time to, I think
Yeah.
he stepped away from the rating scene just so he could focus on Mythic Plus because rating takes too much time. I bet they would fucking for sure.
If the prize pool was big enough, they'd be like, "Oh, fine, I'll play classic." Right? They'd come over. Bro.
I don't
wanna
know if
see
they
it,
could
man.
handle classic.
I want to see it, dude.
I'm not gonna lie, it takes a certain kind of person to be able to put in 80 hours at level 22 and not die. And
But there's something intimate about the 5-man teams, though, right? It's not like a raid. Like it's more controlled. Like you're really taking the creme de la creme of all of these different squads. Like,
True.
and you can build, and then the team names and the logos and the rivalries. I just think it could be so fun, man.
Yeah.
I heard you mention. Sorry, I heard you. Let's cut you off, but I heard you mention earlier, Kargoz. You said dreams, and I just want to say real fast. I've been having them. I'm sure a lot of other people have been. XP nightmares. I'm capped at 22.5. If I get 50 XP, I get penalized. I've been sleeping every single night in my
Tossing and
dreams,
turning.
getting,
What if you
walking in and
accidentally
getting random
zone?
Explorer XP.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
100% feel
you
him on that,
literally,
yes.
you'll get that XP the second you zone into the dungeon.
Yep.
Yeah.
we got
But
it
you'll
all
be
explored,
fine with
though.
it. Okay, good. You've explored your full path to the dungeons.
I think if you're playing in this competition for real and you've been grinding and shit like that, I think you'd be lying to say you haven't had like a weird little nightmarish type thing that like woke you up because you thought you over leveled or died or something. It's like a weird feeling, bro.
I love that everybody came up with like an actual logo and stuff too. Like team names, everything is panned out. It's like everyone is ready to go. You know? These
Yeah.
teams, like, I'm curious because you guys did it on your podcast, the breakdown of who you think are the strongest teams, but who do you think are some of the strongest competitors you might have to go against?
I'm just gonna say it up front because I feel like he's someone who escapes people's minds, but there's somebody in the hardcore community who's been around since day one who has a record 23 level 60s like as under their belt, and that's Nom Nom HC. He's playing on a horde team as a rogue, very similar situation to No CC. They're running a shaman, druid,
Nom Nom.
mage, rogue, and hunter with a warlock on sub. A lot of these folks have like been around the hardcore community a long time. If I were to put my money on one team getting to 60, it would probably be them. The team is Zug Life, by the way. Just look for a little orc with sunglasses.
Oh, that's so hilarious. Zug Life. Oh my God. This is actually a very, hardcore heavy team. That's one thing I think I forget about sometimes is that you have to also fully trust your team to get level 60. Right?
Yep.
You literally like if they die at level 47, it's so screwed. Like you have the sub,
again,
but like, it's not just the competition within the dungeons, but you're literally having this risk reward section outside completely and trying to see what you can pull off.
If you die circuit 3 or something, like you probably, unless you are really degenning hard, you might not be able to just make it back in time. It's probably too late. Even if you wanted to, it might just be too late, and then your team's done. Right, so it's. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on that side of it. We'll see what ends up killing people off.
What do you think, if anything, in this first circuit would be the thing to kind of terrify people, to kill people?
I'm gonna say something weird.
You think it's gonna be
Odo,
something?
the Blind Watcher.
Wait, is that the bat boss?
Yep,
Bat
it is. Yes, it is.
With the enrage mechanic.
Yep.
Does he have an AoE silence also?
Yeah, I think he does. The bats in his room do.
Mm-hmm.
All bats have the silence. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so
Every
it's-
hunter is just hoping.
Yeah, so the bats can AoE silence, and you're in this cramped room, and then the boss himself, for as long, like every 5 seconds or something, he adds an enrage stack to him and the bats. So you have to decide: do we want to get rid of the add damage first, or stop the enrage effect? A lot of teams a lot of people clearing this dungeon would never think about this boss. But I think Ahmpy brings up a great point, because you're starting at level 22. You're likely going to be level 23, maybe 24 if you're lucky walking into this boss. So it's not like you're way over leveled and you can just nuke him down easy.
I can tell you right now what's going to kill people.
That said, with 2 weeks of twinking, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
What's going to kill people, man, is skips. There
Dude,
are people that are planning
that's-
ambitious skips, like, oh yeah, we'll just like chain target dummies for like a minute straight, and we'll just run to like this thing, and we'll just all evade out all the mobs together and do it on the first try with no PTR. Yeah, we'll just do that, and or like, oh, we're just gonna we can skip this pack and this pack if we do this, and we thread the needle here. You're gonna see some teams go for some overly ambitious skips and not like have that like sort of correct level of risk tolerance and get full giga deleted.
That sounds a little personal. Was that something in your Discord? You guys suggesting some weird skips?
Yeah.
5 target dummies. I mean, that's right up your alley. You got it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go ahead and plead the fifth on that one. But just speculating, of course.
I could see someone in your team planning something like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Really, who?
I don't.
It's not like you have any speedrunners or like raid giga chats in there.
Oh my God. I think you're right. I think overconfidence is what hurts, is what gets people. And I think what Only's saying is like a team that's very seasoned hardcore veterans is approaching it from a different take than maybe some people from like a speedrunning scene or even from like PvP or anyone else, right? It's like the realization that there's something that can kill you, right? Like in Classic, it's easy to die. It really is easy to die. And in any of these dungeons, maybe it's not easy to die usually, but like, what about the mobs that run away? You need to know each one of those. You need to plan what you're killing first, what you're interrupting. Like having everything hashed out. And that's what I think makes this like so sweaty and so fucking hype is like, you want to know all of your CDs, all of your usages throughout a dungeon. It's totally like it is a speed run. And there's 4 dungeons you're doing this for at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's real dangers out in the open world too. So like you have to you have to go traverse like high level zones, like to get the dead mines, for example, like as Horde or something. You're gonna have to swim through the deep sea ocean of Stranglethorn Vale with skull level murlocs and coral sharks all around you. And there are ways of saving time on that run that are more dangerous.
Dude, you have to get through. Yeah, because you can't go through the place that has like the shore has fucking alligators.
Yeah, there's some tech where you can skip a lot of mobs and get the dead mines a lot faster, but you're intentionally walking through the valley of death to get there. And is that greed going to kill you? You know, are people going to opt for that, or are they going to go for the safer line? So the world is definitely a factor here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see someone maybe not even in this like first tournament, but like someone running through a zone to get to the next dungeon and then like something going wrong, them dying on the way, that like the tragic end of a player outside of the dungeon while they're trying to minimize their time and travel between the dungeons?
Yeah, I think we're going to see some teams where people forgot to get flight paths.
Oh my
They
god.
forgot to get flight path. Imagine your alliance. There's going to be one motherfucker who forgot to get the SFK flight path, dude, or Sepulchre flight path if you're Horde, or alliance doesn't even have a flight path, huh? What if you forgot to get Hillsbred flight path?
That's South Shore.
What if you went to Hillsbred and forgot to get the flight path? Oh my god, unspeakable. That's going to happen to some guy.
It literally is actually.
It's only a 20-minute swim.
Only
Yeah,
a 20
only a
minute
20-minute
swim.
swim.
Oh my god.
I mean, at that
It's over.
point, I think you just plan on subbing them out, or if that's not an option, just trying to go at it with 4 people while you wait for them to catch up.
Yeah, you kind of have to like plan for something like that. You have to like do like checks. Everyone has to do a check before the dungeons then, right? Like you have to be like, make sure you have these, make sure you have these, make sure you've explored these areas, because we're gonna get XP running there, right? And the rules state everyone has to start at the same dungeon. So like, do you see dungeon routing coming into play as something that kind of changes who gets first and who gets second, or not even just first and second, but like who wins? How are you guys approaching?
Start at any dungeon. You have to start at the meeting stone, so you can choose which one you want to do first and where you want to set your hearth. But yeah, there's actually ways to approach it. Some people are just going for circuit fastest, and they're just going to try to complete the whole circuit as fast as possible. And some people are going to try to get as strong as possible for each dungeon. Basically, the cool thing, Sarthe, the overall thing, is there are many ways to approach this event. There are many ways to approach your team. All characters, I haven't seen a perfect character yet. Even with 2 weeks of people grinding and degenning out, I have not seen a single perfect character. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too, the way it was designed. You had to kind of choose your battles. And I haven't seen a single character that has everything. You are actually at a wall there where, which is cool. I like how it's...
And the interesting thing is like the RNG aspect of that, right? Like it's getting the drops. Like Ahmpy's team has a couple swiftest pots or something, right? Like the getting the drops for some of these things is so RNG and so like grindy. But in the dungeons, it can make a huge difference. Who gets like Smite's hammer drops or like the wand or from Cookie or something, right? Like
I mean, like it can even make a difference. Like who gets like the Twilight pendant drops out of BFD. Like that's an entire quest that not everybody's going to get to turn in. You're looking at extra XP, you're looking at potential quest rewards for some of these, and even like players having to make the decision, am I going to like waste time getting to the next dungeon to like go turn in this quest. Like, is that reward worth it between the XP and the item I get from it?
Yeah.
There's also, oh, you go.
No. You say it first. You say it first. I'll ask right after.
Okay. I was just gonna bring up there's like a critical point where you're doing Dead Mines and Wailing Caverns, and it just so happens that BFD is also in the circuit and it's right next to Wailing Caverns. So you could opt to do BFD early, even though it's the hardest dungeon in here for circuit time.
Same with SFK and being on the Dead Mine side of things. There's so many different strategies. No one knows exactly how the points are going to math out.
Yeah, because all the points are relative to everyone else's performance,
Yep.
Yeah, and getting between all of these dungeons is going to be huge. Do you see anyone starting with the hardest dungeon? Is it even like a route? What do you think is going to be the general route for most people?
I've heard people starting with SFK on Alliance side, and that sounds crazy to me, someone who's not doing that. SFK at 22 sounds scary.
Ooh, Kargoz?
I've heard everything. I've heard people starting DM. I've heard people starting WC. I've heard people starting SFK on Horde side, not Alliance. But I've yet to see a team start BFD because it's like the highest level one. So I think people are probably a bit scared of that one. But yeah, there's many different pros and cons to each. There's you think on a surface level that it should be a pretty straightforward strategy, right? There's not that much factors to consider. There are so many factors considered. Do you even do the dungeon quest? Is it worth the travel time to go turn them in for a weapon? How do you value? What's the stat weight between the improved combat efficiency you get by getting a better weapon versus shaving off time in the dungeon? No one knows. For example, Wingblade, all those, you leveled her before, right?
Yeah.
How valuable is a Wingblade to you? How much does it actually increase your damage?
Insanely valuable for the rogue, but you might have to sub them out of a... Like the option is like potentially use your sub in this first split because of the idea of being able to go and grab something like a wing blade and then come back into the next dungeon a lot stronger, while it might take some time, right? Like the shoulders, even the shoulders, something a lot smaller, but that quest is like running back and forth like 4 times. It's like,
that's the thing. There's a lot of travel time to turn these quests in. Think about Wingblade. Think about what it actually takes to get them. You have to loot 4 gems all across the entire dungeon. Are you really going to do that? Is that worth it to you? Like to go across both wings of the dungeon and loot all the gems and go turn it in and spend all that time for what? How much actually does that improve your damage?
Depends if you get the sword to drop in Dead Mines, right?
I'm saying, bro, you just have to make these calls as you go. What's going to be worth it? What's not? Teams aren't going to, I think, unless you actually PTR practiced, teams aren't going to know if they're going to be able to ding 24 in time for the last dungeon. So, what's the point if you don't ding 24? What's the point of turning in those quests? Kind of like, you could just be 23 and save the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a million factors to consider, and I think like it's going to be more interesting than you think watching these low level dungeon speedruns for a lot of people.
So I'm really that you brought up a really good point about PTR, and I've been really surprised, one, at how many teams are doing PTR.
No way.
Yeah, and 2, just like what that PTR entails. Like I've heard ranges from people like leveling up on Era and doing it on Era, people like going through on Wrath, people just using their 60s to understand the route. People even loading up private servers and going onto private servers to practice this stuff.
That's like
full range,
full try hard. I love it.
And those are all hours that are not captured on your character, but are still extra hours for each player that they've been putting in.
Yep. So we'll be able to see exactly how long they've played on that character, but people have a ton more hours because they've planned their routes. Ahmpy, do you want to say anything on that? Have you guys
No comment.
All right.
Wow, sounds
a little sus there.
Like I said, a bunch of rats, bro. I'm telling you, man.
But
we're slippery
an honest melee cleave. We're an honest, hard-working blue-collar melee cleave, okay?
That's the boomer life.
But does blue collar take a speedrunning competition when other people are taking it more serious? The thing is, in retail or in Wrath of the Lich King, any version of speedrunning raids, the guild that puts in the most time usually has won. And
you know what's so fucking sick about this though, Sarthe? there's basically no better person casting like tomorrow with like you and Jordy shows up that's gonna be able to like analyze this shit, you know, as you see it. Like you've done all the world first races and stuff. Like you'll see. Oh man, I'm really excited, bro. I can't wait. We'll have some of the best casters doing speedrun stuff and some really good teams playing. Holy shit.
It's a perfect mix. It's literally a perfect mix of bringing all of the communities together that want to like compete and be like in this, and anyone can join, and literally anyone can sign up, anyone can join, anyone can be a part of it, and you're fully participating in the event and going for it, and you can take it as sweaty as you want or not. One thing that you mentioned, Kargoz, though, was that people like potentially skipping bosses, and I do want to bring up for anyone watching or listening that there is boss and trash requirements posted in the Discord, and a weak aura that was supposed to be done yesterday, but some load conditions. If you're really good with weak auras, I have a bug that I need to fix with it as of yesterday's final testing. But everything is like required. You can't fully skip everything. So in Vizpot skips, you can't skip everything because there are trash requirements you have to deal with, but that also leads you to being more like coming up with things more, like being more like intuitive, or like Ahmpy's dealt with it before in retail or in Wrath speedrunning and TBC speedrunning and classic speedrunning. What you need to do is decide where you're pulling things so that you can skip other things, right?
Yep.
I mean, here's the other thing too that might blow your mind too. Splitting. Are we going to see teams?
Oh, yeah.
Literally. Are you literally
so-
going to see teams go send little task forces off in different directions? You're going to see a guy solo a boss, another guy solo another boss for time. Like, there's going to be some crazy risks.
I think
in order to win, you're going to have to take risks, man.
Yeah, so Sarthe, as I understand it, because of the way weak auras and just combat logs work, that'll be something where, while we can verify all the trash and boss requirements have been met in like fodder view, like the teams are maybe not going to know that they've actually, or they're at least going to need to have heavy communication to know exactly what trash requirements they've completed. Correct.
Like once I get this fixed, they'll be able to track it if they want on screen. They'll be able to track it fully on screen and see the trash requirements. But like every team for this is going to want to be like looking at it beforehand, knowing what they need to kill beforehand, all of it. Because if not, if you didn't have something like trash requirements, and this is something that has a lot of contention in the speedrunning community, if you don't have trash requirements, the entire route is all about skipping everything you possibly can. That's the whole plan for Race the World First, and it's really hype because you see how they can go through like skipping things, like with hunters pet pulling mobs to like one corner of the dungeon and then everybody else running by without getting in combat. But if one person gets too close or accidentally buffs or heals, it's totally over. You're dead. And like we mentioned earlier, you can't run out of the dungeon, right? So and classic has a lot of like glitch reset spots. So having that be what every team is planning is just glitch resetting every pull is kind of like not good in the spirit of these speedruns, right? So like having to pick and choose what you need to kill and then what you can skip, I think adds this, like, we're going to see everybody take these dungeons with such different routes, such different planning and preparation.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it makes you wonder though, what are we missing at this point compared to the actual real raid speedruns? Like, we have the trash requirements, people are going to be logging, you're going to have, teams and people streaming it. There's a lot of similarities. Now, I mean, the stuff we're doing has way less mechanics and stuff like that, but with speedruns, they're as hard as you want to make them, right? Like, it's as hard as you want to push, and it's all comparative to other people, so...
It's all this comes down to, especially with hardcore adds the other aspect that we missed without having world buffs anymore, is if your character dies, it's over. So how hard can you push it but not die? If you die, it's literally over. Restart. If you die in the third world tour, they're so high of a level that if you don't have a backup character, you're straight up not making it back into this world tour. You might not even make it for the next world tour because you have to leveling back all the way up to level 50 takes forever. We don't have Joy's journeys. These leveling experiences are long. Right now is
1x,
is
baby.
the least punishing one. Yeah. So that's what I think adds just the most fun and excitement, is like, that's all that the speedrunning is going to be, is how much you can push to get right up to the edge.
Yep.
And
It's gonna
I'm
be a
curious to
good
see
time.
who's going to be the first team to go out here today.
I am
or
very-
tomorrow.
I am very likely to die. Just go ahead
Really.
and say it.
Whoa.
I am doing some crazy stuff.
All right, so keep an eye on Ahmpy's
Whoa,
POV, I guess.
yeah.
I will say that we have actually so I closed registration about 3 hours ago, and since
Mhm.
then we have had one team have 2 deaths and actually pull out of the tournament altogether,
No way.
and 2 other teams have level 22 deaths and are contemplating whether they can get people leveled up in time.
Oh my god, the drama starts, man.
Yeah.
So it
The drama
begins. That's the
starts.
crazy part is we're not always watching when things can happen because, yeah, like the hardcore characters in the open world trying to min max and you're dead.
Yep.
And you're gone. You're missing it. You're dead. You're dead the day before. That's the scariest thing. It's like
Less than 24 hours to imagine being like, okay, how can I re-level enough?
it's
like,
yeah.
You're
no
not even
sleep.
thinking, can I get back to 22? You're thinking, can I get back to the point of being remotely helpful?
Literally, it's like, can I bring anything to this group now? A buff? Can I get in the dungeon? Have something? That slows you down so much, though, and the backup characters is really where it comes in clutch if you have them all ready and prepared. But like losing 2 people is insanely punishing, and I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think Ahmpy did it really well with like he's logged out, probably in the location he wants to be to start, with all of he's just accumulating rested XP or close, obviously, right? So he's accumulating rested XP.
Yeah, that's got to be it. I mean, every team is going to have to start together at a meeting stone. You know, dungeons are done in any order, so just any of the meeting stones where they want to start at. So you better be there. You better have your hearth set where it needs to be. You better have everything you need from the bank. You better have every flight path you need. It's gonna be a trip.
Sarthe, do you want to
Yes.
sneak peek at my bags?
Oh my god, yeah, I do.
All right, one sec.
Oh my.
Guess how much gold Ahmpy has fished up at this level.
It was like 60 gold or something the other day.
Yeah. Something like that.
All right, let's take a gander at this bad boy.
Is it working?
Mud Maniac. Yeah.
All right. So, as an alchemist, of course, we got the Skittles. Lots of Skittles. We got quest items. Tons
For
of gold.
the dungeon quests.
Yeah.
4 gold,
3
level
bag
22.
slots.
Well, look at how many bank slots he has, though. I think that's a lot more than 4 gold.
Yeah.
How casual this team is, bro. Look how empty his inventory is. Oh my god.
Oh
That's for
my
water.
god,
That's
even
for
trying.
water. That's for water.
So you've
He's
got
a mage. He's got to be drink walking.
Yeah, that's for water.
Yeah. Drink walking is crucial.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and we got our guild tabard, another 10 gold down the drain.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Hold on.
Oh my god, looking good. The clown crown, they're gonna take it. What's the gear looking like? Can you show it off, or do you want to hide it?
I'm okay showing it off. Yeah, I don't need to hide anything here.
Oh.
We did some crazy quests. We have got clips of for later. I don't want to expose it quite yet, but I've been questing and
people still have time to mimic your strategy.
yeah, I've been questing in level 30 zones. We got,
Look at those shoulders.
Yeah.
My goodness.
This is from
Yo.
Shade Thicket Oracle level 30 red mob. Engineer's Cloak 27 red mob Grenzo Wrench Whistle.
Oh my
Atheris
god.
Rogue 29 red mob quest.
Can I interrupt for 1 minute? Those shoulders, Ahmpy. I saw Ahmpy sent me this clip. I'm like, okay, I'll take a look at it. It's a 35-minute kill clip of him doing this quest at level 22.
Oh my god, dude. The min-maxing is so all out, and I love it so much.
It was a wild strategy. I'm not going to give it away because what Ahmpy did, I don't think could be done by any other player. But
If there was a way, if like Terramis the Devourer dropped like a 2 agi upgrade or something, people would find a way to kill them solo for the shit. I'm telling
I
you,
mean-
Classic, there's a will, there is a way, man. Like,
I mean, he drops a very useful item and multiple of it.
Dude, those-
I am excited to see people kill Terramis.
You're on.
So,
Are you on NA or EU for this?
I'm playing on EU,
Okay,
which turned out to be an error.
So you've got a little bit of a lag. You have a character dead. Okay.
Yeah, this is a scouting character, just looking for rare mobs.
Clutch. One thing that I was gonna say is on EU, apparently there was the bug for the fishing tournament, right?
Yep.
So
So that's how we got the hook.
So everybody has the hook in your group.
I'm not gonna go ahead and say team
You know what?
secrets here.
Okay.
like I said, bunch of rats, dude. We're just a bunch of hardworking, genuine melee cleavers.
You have EU ping while you're mage kiting. The slight delays I guess they got rid of what was it? Spell queuing and spell batching, but like in classic, just like jumping sideways or jumping could put you in a death while you're kiting.
You could. Very possible.
76 hours, 47 minutes on this character.
oh, can I ask? Could we see? If you don't want to give it away, that's fine, I guess. But could we see your talents?
No, you may not see my
Okay.
talents.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's a good choice to not say.
Yeah,
the
no,
talents.
that's super fair. That's super fair.
Maybe tomorrow we'll see your talents. That's
You know what? If you asked me that same question, you know what I'd do, Sarth? I'd hit N right now for you, dude. And I would literally go through all. I do it because
Kargoz,
over here
how
at
about
No
you give us a little
CC,
tour?
No fear.
we believe in honesty
Here,
and
let's do
integrity
another-
above
let's do
all
another
else.
character
dude.
spotlight. Let's see what you got packed, Kargoz.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so
No
that's
I'm an
Ahmpy's
open book.
You saw Ahmpy's got one character. He's been pouring his heart and soul here. Kargoz has 3 characters at level 22.
Yeah, dude, I'm an open book.
He's
I'm,
just
I'm,
run it
Three
back
characters.
multiple times.
I'm okay, man.
That's
So as you can
just
see
like when you
here,
expect to die.
Let me pull
I'm on
it
the
up.
river here. Let me just show you my most recent pickup here. Just fished this puppy up just a second ago. The old
Oh, that's
brutal
required
war
level
axe of
25,
agility.
man. That's a
Hey,
pipe
let's
dream.
not
Hey,
worry. Let's not worry about that.
That's
dude.
level 25.
Let's not worry
man.
about
That's
that.
vendor trash.
You don't know our tech.
That
dude.
is vendor trash.
You don't know our
our
tech. You don't know our tech. We're gonna be at least.
I know you guys are grinding XP outside of BFD, man. You can't-
Engineering
At least
bullets. Engineering
Look
bullets.
at this. I have 8 level 40 mobs that I can drop. This is a level 40. I drop this, I can make a level 40 on the ground. Advanced target to me, 4.5k HP.
That's what you used
Easy.
in Nax speedruns, literally to save you from Resuvius. You would use advanced target enemies.
Yep. So we got the polished Y-hand. Everybody gear's looking good. We got Warsong boots. I Beastmaster. Some of these quests that I did, bro, you needed world buffs to do it. So some people had to wait for like the one raiding guild to drop world buffs so you could solo stuff. I did that to kill Isha Awak. I mean, the gear's looking pretty
Can
good,
you-
bro. Warsong boots, gloves of the moon.
In the second circuit, can you get the Master Hunter's bow, or is it 35?
You can get it.
You can get it, and I actually know.
God.
And I know exactly how to get it. There's actually okay. I'm not even gonna say. There is a way.
Talking
There is
about
a way.
honest, this man.
Okay, you know what? I will say it then. Actually, you know what?
Oh my God.
There's a little
Yeah.
horseshoe puddle in STV. There's a horseshoe puddle on the coastline on the west. You can take anything you want there. Tethys, any mob you want. You shoot it. You take 2 steps to the left. Walk to the left. You walk through the puddle. The mob pats all the way around. You shoot it. You walk to the right. You go back and forth. You can kill anything you want. Anything you want.
There you go. All right. Ahmpy didn't even know about that. He actually just baited you, but now also everybody
the
knows.
truth.
I gave that one for free, bro. I'll give it to the people, man.
You know, this is Team No CC is just all about honesty and hard work, and
And integrity.
I like that. I like that. In retail, there or in Wrath Classic, there's a guild Beef Bar that was also in TBC, and like they get world first. They keep winning world first by literally, instead of like what other guilds are doing, trying to skip everything, they just literally Giga Chad through it. They pull it all really big and just kill it all before it can kill them, and it's worked for them. They're just so good at it. And I think this is like the dichotomy of the teams right now, going for crazy insane strats or going for like let's just blast, and we're gonna see what kind of comes out on top. Especially, and
Yeah.
this is just 2 teams. You guys are just 2 of 36. Well, I guess 1 dropped out. 35 teams.
Yep. It's gonna be crazy, man. There's some serious gamers, and there's more lighthearted people who are just taking it easy, trying to complete the whole thing. Like Meta Goblin as a team. The YouTube, he made a video about it today. He said he's just taking it easy, chilling. Showbeck's playing in it. You know, a lot of these people aren't necessarily, you know, putting in the same level of time fishing and stuff, but still having a good time. So, you know, people of all skill and sweat levels are welcome.
You know, I actually have a question here
Yeah.
for Sarthe. What do you think the dungeon clear times will be?
Oh my god.
If you just had to guess, just to set some initial expectations.
Okay, so I've heard, so I know of a group of friends that is planning, if Season Mastery 2 comes out, to get World First level 60s. And I know they are going to do Dead Mines, and I know theirs is going to be more skips, but they have like a 14-minute Dead Mines, which is unbelievable.
Rookie numbers. I'm just saying that right now.
Rookie numbers? You had 14 minutes as rookie numbers?
Yeah,
Dead Mines, we've got trash requirements.
I know.
I
can't go into.
I am so excited to see what these teams can pull off, because I think my expectations are so far below what everybody's going to be able to do. I think the teams are going to destroy my expectations, and I think that adds for like the hype. I think it's going to be so exciting to see this go down, to see these teams pull off things like only we're going to be seeing these teams do it, and I'm going to be calling it out, and Only's going to be like, yep, they've been planning this for a while, because Only is got the inside information of everything. It's fully MDI polls, right? And if people don't watch retail, it's like it is by far my favorite aspect of the retail version of World of Warcraft, is this literal esport where teams fully compete for dungeon clears, right? And this is exactly what it is, and bringing that to Classic with more of a risk, because in there you have a death, it's like plus 15 seconds or something. Here, you're done.
Over.
You have a death, you get a time penalty,
Absolutely.
and you're out.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So I'm not going to tell which team or what tech is being used to achieve this. I can guarantee you it's not anyone in this call, though. But I have recorded a 10-minute Dead Mines with our trash requirements.
Wow.
That's
good to know. Taking notes.
Oh, so what you're saying is people are using PTRs and illegal Blizz-like realms?
That I don't know. I don't know that. I'm not gonna confess to any tech.
Rookie numbers. Okay,
I've been given plausible deniability. You
That's
might
fair.
say in legal terms.
That's fair.
I
That's
know not where this number came from, but I do know the in-game tech that was used.
There is a chance, guys. If hardcore's pretty hot right now, if this goes well tomorrow, people enjoy watching it. It is hype. We get the drama, we get the hype, we get and everything in between. The casters are on point. You know, it's good all around. This could be pretty huge for Classic, man. I hope to see a bright future for it, with people getting into it.
Hey, Sarthe, I think we're frozen behind you.
Yeah, I'm reopening I'm recalling you guys. Yeah, I'm recalling you guys. 1 second.
Hi, Sarthe.
There we go. There's my beautiful people. I noticed that too, and I was like, oh no. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Loud and clear.
All right, perfect, good. Yeah, I think the sweatiness, the excitement. That's I don't know. I'm just so hyped. I'm so hyped on what everyone's gonna pull off. I think this is gonna be one of the coolest events of all time. And the production value, Kargoz, you've been put in so much time. Only you've put in so much time. Dennis, like I swear the production value is literally like better than what I've seen Blizzard do in any of their events. I think this is gonna be crazy, and so I think this is a good kind of wrapping point, so we can work behind the scenes on that. But is there anything else you want to say to the people? Anything else you want to hype people up, or what they can expect of you, or where they can watch you play and run tomorrow on top of it, seeing it here on this channel? Let's start with you, Karg.
Honestly, I just want to say thank you, guys. I do love you guys. I love this community we have going on. I feel like we're in a good spot with both just the state of Vanilla WoW and the legacy of the game moving forward. Hardcore in general. it takes a village, and we have a village. And like tomorrow could be, the first day of a really great thing. And just thanks to everybody for believing in it. Up until this point, and we'll see where it takes us. Thanks for having me on and everything.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for being here, and thank you for everything you did to honestly steer the helm and get hardcore going. I know thousands and thousands and thousands of people love this playstyle, and I know it can get a rap sometimes with other people, because when you're not playing hardcore, you can't play against, like, you can't play with all of the hardcore people. But hopefully Blizzard adds some sort of hardcore realm soon. So thank you very much for that. Ahmpy, where can people watch you do these dungeon runs tomorrow? What can they expect? Any last words you have, and anything you want to plug?
No real last words, but if you guys want to see rank 1 hardcore all-stars, circuit 1, twitch.tv/Ahmpy.
Let's go.
Rank 1 and Vizpot fails. That's gonna be sick.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have to send me like a ping of like what things I need to be looking out for, or only we'll know like where we need to tune in for sure, so that we don't have anyone else pulled up on the screen when you're doing something crazy.
Yeah, I mean, between the what is it, like 98 different Twitch streams and YouTube streams that we'll have access to.
98 different streams.
98 different streams, 98 different POVs to keep track of across the 35, 36 teams. I mean, I've honestly lost count at this point. But yeah, I've got a feeling that it's going to be tough, given how competitive some of these teams are, for us to keep our eyes off of 3, 4, 5 of these teams the whole time.
Yeah, I agree. I think once some teams start taking a big lead, that's where the excitement really will be, and then everyone else will be a good time. But honestly, I want to see if there's crazy deaths. I want to see crazy pulls. I'm excited for all of this. Only, is there anything left you want to say to the people before they see you back here again tomorrow?
Just a huge thank you to you, Sarthe, for jumping in here and hosting this with us. Really, really excited to be able to meld hardcore and speedrunning in this way. I mean, you're definitely... I've told you this before, but when I think of speedrunning in Classic WoW, I think of you. So we're just
same,
guy
for sure.
But yeah. Oh, I guess one thing I would say, after tomorrow's circuit, teams, if you see tomorrow's event and you really want to get involved in the World Tour, you can totally make a team. Registration will open back up after Circuit 1 is over. You can register up until March 24th. You are still eligible to win prize pool money, the $5,000 grand prize. It's winner take all. You'd have to put in a hell of a lot of work to get there, but if you come in determined to get first place in every single bracket, that $5,000 could be yours.
Literally, it would be the greatest thing of all time. A team joins after tomorrow and takes it all, beats everyone. Somebody dies in like the last dungeon run, the grand finales, where points are literally doubled. All of the points for the dungeons and everything are doubled. All of the punishments are doubled too. So it could go either way. I think this is going to be ridiculously exciting.
Yeah, people are going to go into the final with like 700-800 points, walk away with almost 1,500. It's going to be insane, the comeback stories that could exist there.
All right, boys, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I am so excited. Good luck, Kargoz and Ahmpy. Tomorrow, great luck to you. I want to see some crazy shit. Only we'll see you back on here on the channel tomorrow for the runs. Thank you for putting this all together, and everybody watching and listening. Come back here 9 a.m. PST tomorrow is when it starts. So we'll be starting the stream at least an hour before, going over some pre-tournament show. We're going to be breaking everything down for you, and we will have everything here on the channel. So thank you guys.